Hey, everyone. Thank you so much for joining today for this workshop. I'm going to really quickly just tell you guys a little bit about what to expect. So, in 2020, I did, well, my agency, not me, it's a whole team of us here. We did over 100 virtual events, right? Like, how the heck did that happen? This time last year, I was trying to convince people, like tooth and nail, to do virtual events because I knew that was where the event industry, that was where people should spend their time, right? Virtual allowed for more accessibility, a higher ROI, more people to interact, a further reach. And folks are like, no, we want to do in person. In person is the way to go. I was building Dora Labs. I was about to launch it, and we're about to relaunch Dora Labs now. But Dora Labs is essentially a fully online virtual co-learning community, co-building community. And folks are like, this is not going to take off. People try like Facebook groups and different groups. And I'm like, no, it's like a whole new experience. There's this platform called Remo, this platform called Mighty Networks, like all these different tools we're going to combine, and it's going to be great. Folks are just like, that sounds cool, but in person is the sauce. Like, we're not going to not meet in person. A month, 2 months later, the conversation shifted. The same, people that I was reaching out to, like trying to convince them to do virtual events, were now coming to me, as well as other colleagues, friends, family. Were saying, listen, Georgie, we need your skill set. We know you've done the Get Shit Done Summit online. We know you've done a lot of these virtual workshops, and that's what we need right now. We need online virtual events. And I was just like, yes. Finally, everyone understands. It sucks that it took a global pandemic, but nonetheless, we were able to successfully help over 30 companies produce over 100 virtual events in 2020. And through doing that, there was a lot that we learned, right? We learned, what worked, what didn't work, and like just how it happened. So today I'm going to be going over a top 10 case studies of kind of what went down, what happened here. So while you guys are watching this session, feel free to, throw some stuff in the comment. Let us know if if everything looks good, if you can hear me, if you can see me. And if you have any questions, I'm going to do a Q&A session a little bit later in this live stream, as well as I'll be going live again today at 5 o'clock on Instagram. And then we're going to do a full Q&A on Clubhouse at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So if you are on Clubhouse, just follow me at GSD with Georgie, and you'll be able to be a part of that conversation happening tonight, January 21st, Thursday, aka December 48th, or whatever number it is. And we'll be going live on Clubhouse to do a Q&A all about virtual events at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So if you can tune in, definitely tune in for that. So without further ado, let me dive in and tell you. So again, we did 100 virtual events in 2020. What the heck? How did we do that? How did it happen? How did it work? But first, let me tell you a little bit about myself. I'm posting this on my channels, but that doesn't mean every single person watching this knows who the heck I am. So I'm Georgie-Ann McCoy. I'm the CEO and founder of GSD Solutions. We are a boutique consulting agency that helps individuals and companies create inclusive, innovative, and experience-driven brands. And we are the place, our motto is where dreamers rise and doers thrive. We want to make sure that folks are getting stuff done, tackling everything they need to tackle, and being successful in all that they do. I have over 13 years of event production experience. Yes, I've been doing events since middle school, I kid you not. And I have over 3 years of virtual event production experience. So doing everything from Zoom to GoToMeeting, Hopin, Remo, Webinar Jam, you name it. We are discovering new platforms every single day. And just to drop a few, we just did an event on Teleseat. We're doing a tour on Bramble soon. We're doing we've done Run the World, like you name it, we've tried it, or we want to try it. So if you're a virtual event platform and you're watching this, definitely connect with me. Happy to learn about new platforms so I can offer it to my clients. And if you're a client that's looking for virtual event production, reach out. This is our bread and butter. This is what we do. And for my work as an entrepreneur, doer, next and everything, I've been featured in Black Enterprise, Forbes 8, Fiverr, Trooper, a bunch of different other publications. And so what you want to do is, if you want to keep up with what I'm doing, follow at GSD with Georgie on all the social platforms, Clubhouse, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, you name it, is GSD with Georgie. So tune in there. And so, I kind of know what I'm talking about. It's essentially what this slide is saying to you. I know what I'm talking about. My agency, we get shit done, and we're gonna make it happen. And that's how we were able to do 100 events last year. So starting off, I want to give a huge shout out to Startup Boost. So what we supported Startup Boost with was helping them convert their in-person accelerator program into a digital program. When the program started, I was actually supposed to be I was, not supposed to be, I actually was the co-director of the New York Startup Boost Accelerator program. And originally the program was going to be in person, and we were going to meet once a week, do these workshops, have these sessions, and help these startups grow, and then eventually get into a bigger accelerator program or get funded and things of that nature. So Startup Boost is a globally recognized program. They've done dozens of cohorts, and now this is the first time they had to transition everything into fully online. And as the co-director, I'm like, hey, I know what to do. I know what to do. This is my skill set. Let me handle this, right? And so, I jumped in and talked to the team about the remote platform, just other different virtual event resources, such as Webinar Jam as well, and just streaming overall. And through that, we were able to convert all the programs, and I believe it was, if I'm not wrong, either 6 or 7 programs happening at once. We were able to convert all the different programs into fully online virtual pre-accelerator programs. And it was just an amazing experience. The startups had an amazing experience. And what we were able to discover was different startups that were participating, right? The programs are based in different cities. So you have New York, California, I think Chicago. There's a bunch of different cities all over the country, as well as like internationally, that the program happens. We were able to connect cross-program, as well as folks that were hundreds or thousands of miles away were able to participate in the program. Mentors were able to be from anywhere. So we were able to expand the reach and get people that probably would have never spoken or interacted with that cohort, because everyone was now global and digital, and it didn't matter where you physically were, you were able to participate and engage. And before I move on, I wanted to share a video with you guys from Jean, who is one of the co-founders of Startup Boost. So let's get that video going.
Good afternoon, good morning, good evening. Who knows what time it is anymore in this new virtual world we find ourselves in. My name is Jean Murphy, and I am the co-founder of Startup Boost, a global pre-accelerator program that finds great startups and gets them ready for investment. And about 3 months ago, when we were running our programs and getting ready to open up all of our different event venues that we work with, we were struck by the news that all event venues would be closed due to COVID-19. Around that time, we'd started working with Georgie, as she's a city director in our New York program and does amazing work with the startups there, and realized that she had an amazing knowledge of everything to do when it came to virtual events. With Georgie's guidance, great camaraderie, and just infinite seemingly knowledge around this whole space, we're able to deliver those programs in a really, really unique way, which again has helped an awful lot of companies and an awful lot of founders move forward with their businesses. I have 40 years of experience in events. That's what I've grown up in. And when it comes to events, I have a pretty high bar. Moving to online was tough work, but thanks to Georgie, she made that very possible and a very straightforward process. So again, click that button, get chatting with Georgie. You're not going to regret it.
Yeah, so we know what we're talking about, right? So that was the first one. So next we're going to talk about another program. So that was our first case study, Startup Boost. We converted an online accelerator program. Our next case study is Sella. So Sella is an organization that supports accelerators and accelerator builders. And you kind of seen a theme here, right? We specialize in tech and education companies. And you'll see that as we go through our case studies, that's our bread and butter. So if you're a tech company, an accelerator company, VC, investors, we just did like the Angel Summit just the other day, that's our specialty. So if that's the industry that you're in and you're looking to produce virtual events, give us a call. Well, email us, right? So Sella was the next program that we converted. So this time last year, we were actually supporting Sella with their in-person Black History Month accelerator office hours that was happening in partnership with Samsung. And we did that in February. So we had some great photos. It was a great time. Startups were able to be connected with accelerator operators get mentorship, get advice in a speed dating kind of speed networking event. And then a month later, we had to convert everything to online. And so we've been supporting Sella through producing their monthly Sella Gate and their monthly Sella accelerator office hours completely online. So here's a snapshot from the event. And so this is these events range from about an hour, hour and a half, and they connect, again, accelerator operators, investors, mentors, VCs, you name it, to startups so that they could get the best direction and next steps in order to get into the accelerator program or know what they need to do to shift. Because as we all know, funding is a huge issue for startups, but also mentorship, the proper mentorship and guidance is also a huge issue for startups. And so Sella provides that support to both accelerators and founders. So definitely check out sellainnovation.com to learn more, but we were able to convert their programs from in-person to virtual. And here's a word from John Lynn's very own Sella. So let me grab that for you guys. You know why people just love us.
Georgie and her expertise on virtual curriculum, virtual event planning, virtual operations are really world-class and unique. My name is John Lynn. I am the founder of a company called Sella. We build accelerator programs with corporations, with universities, with investor groups, and we also do a lot of events that bring accelerators together. We run the only global accelerator summit in the accelerator industry called the Sella Summit, as well as other signature events on a monthly and quarterly basis that bring accelerators together in different ways. I've depended on Georgie to help us with virtualizing those events, as well as pieces of our curriculum and our mentor processes and systems. We've worked with Georgie to host our Sella office hours, which are sponsored by some of the world's largest corporations. Sella office hours pair accelerators with startup accelerators with founders on an organized basis, and we usually do it in person. But we moved it online to do it for global founders this January, and it was only because of Georgie and her expertise and support. So highly recommend it. Thank you, Georgie.
Yeah, so how we did this one and how we also did the Startup Boost was really just focusing on what the founders needed. So these two programs that we started off the presentation with, these two case studies, they centered around connections, right? So both of these programs, we use the Remo platform. And the Remo platform, as you guys can see by these little maps that you're seeing in the screenshots, is that you have two modes. You have the map mode as well as like the stage mode. So the stage mode is where we'll have the speakers, and the mentors come up and talk. And then in the table mode, that's where everyone is able to go into different tables, starting as small as 2 people per table and going up to 8 people per table. This allows for people the freedom to move around from table to table, connect with their other attendees. They can see each other's profiles, and it just really feels like how you would feel at an in-person event. So these two programs, Startup Boost and Sella, they needed to have that connectivity. They needed to have that underlying relationship building aspect to their events. And so that's how we did it and converted it into a virtual space. Trial and error to figure out exactly how, we do the mentor matching and how we make sure that everyone feels like they get the best experience is how we kind of just made sure everything happened in the proper way. Next, we're going to go into one of my personal favorites. This slide wants to move. The New York Tech Meetup. So the New York Tech Meetup, this is one of the spaces that I got my start in the New York City tech ecosystem, right? You need a meetup, you're trying to do tech, the New York Tech Meetup. And so I've been working with the New York Tech Meetup ever since I started going to the New York Tech Meetup back in 2014. As an attendee, a lost college kid trying to figure out my space in the tech and startup ecosystem. And, everyone from the New York Tech Meetup team, Andy, Doug, Jessica, when she was there, and everyone have been super supportive. When I had my previous startup, Illicit Mind, when I've done work with Caribbeans in Tech, my nonprofit, and now it was an opportunity to support the New York Tech Meetup to keep going. And I believe back last year, I think January or February, we were, attending the in-person New York Tech Meetup. And when they had to go online, I said, hey, I know this great platform. I know how to convert in-person events to online events. Let's make it happen. And so we coordinated, and the New York Tech Meetup has been going virtually ever since, I believe it was March or April, fully online. And in this event, what happens is that it's a demo night. So attendees come and then they watch about 5 to 6 startups that are on the stage. They're demoing, and each month has a different theme. So we've had, Black female founders, immigrant founders, disabled founders, LGBTQ founders, you name it. Founders that are, again, based in New York have come up, demoed about their business. And then in the audience, there are, like, again, investors, community folks, just everyday people, other entrepreneurs that will connect and network with them. So this platform that we use, we use Remo, as well as they've used EarMeet to continue producing the New York Tech Meetup. We've also used Google Meet, YouTube streaming, and just various ways to create a great experience, as well as just making sure that the New York Tech Meetup keeps going. So, shout outs to Andy, shout outs to Hope, and Doug for allowing GSD to support them and making sure that we were able to keep the New York Tech Meetup alive and growing, because that's how I got, one of the reasons I got my start in the New York City tech ecosystem. And I know somebody else out there is looking for this resource. So if you are in New York or know anyone or around the world, let them know about the New York Tech Meetup. It's also the largest meetup in the world. So check it out. That's how we did it. And that was, how we made it work out and be successful. Next up, we have another legacy organization that, again, it was really mind-blowing to see a lot of these organizations that, myself, I started as just an attendee, right? Just really inspired by the work these organizations were doing. And my skill set was able to help 5, 6, 7, 8 years later produce and keep these businesses and keep these organizations growing and thriving, so that way others could engage with them. So another company that we supported is Black Women Talk Tech. You might know them. Again, they have different chapters all over the country. They started it here in New York, and they held 2 virtual events last year. We supported both of them. The first event was Weathering the Storm, that they held in, I think it was like April, May of 2020. We used Webinar Jam for that event because it was mainly a content-heavy event, and attendees were just, participating primarily through the chat. It wasn't a need for high networking, which is why we switched over. So the first 3 events I just mentioned, Startup Boost, New York Tech Meetup, Sella, we used Remo because, again, networking and people connecting with each other was a very key, important part of the event's success. Whereas the first event was more of like a conference and just informational, and people could connect with the chat with Black Women Talk Tech event. And then again, we in the fall did their Face of a Founder conference. For that event, we used Hopin, and it was a very smooth experience. We had a bunch of different sessions where vendors and different brands such as like BET, I Fund Women, and a bunch of other companies came and did one small group sessions for the attendees, as well as there was like a stage, there was a comedian. There was just so much fun. It really felt like a in-person event. That's what I like to say about these events, is that people are connecting, they're engaging. And even though there wasn't a lot of one-to-one networking with the attendees, everyone, the chat was on fire. People were asking questions, making comments, requesting follow-up. When will we see the videos? And it was a very great experience for myself as a Black woman in tech. And from the chat, I saw that everyone else that was attending also had a great experience. So again, we used Hopin, we used Webinar Jam, and these were more so conference lecture style events. So not too much of the networking element was needed, but people were still, the face-to-face networking element, I would say that was needed, but people were still highly connected, following each other on LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, all the things, taking selfies, snapshots, you name it. People were highly, highly engaged with both of these events. All right, what do we have next? Okay, next we have the Black Podcasting Awards. So shout out to Gift This Sounds Network for making everything for this specific event come together. And the Black Podcasting Awards wasn't just an event. We had a whole process. So this time last year, the Black Podcasting Awards was not even a thing. A great team plus myself came together, and in 6 months, we were able to produce this amazing award show, crowdfund over $9,000, and just really put together this exquisite event to celebrate Black podcasters. And it's coming back up, so check out or social media at Black Pod Awards on every single channel to learn more and sign up for our list. But the key thing about this event, it was just a live stream. So all the sessions were pre-recorded. So we had a musician, a poet, a violinist. We had multiple Black podcasters from all over the world applying to the event, watching the event when it was live streamed on YouTube, as well as being speakers through the pre-recorded session. So if you need like full production of something that's completely pre-recorded, myself, as well as my contractors, Gifted Sounds Network, one of them can support with that. So that's definitely something that we could do if you just want to produce a show, a movie, a series, whatever you need. And Black Podcasting Awards is an example. And you could check it out on YouTube if you look up Black Podcasting Awards to watch the full show to see how the quality of the production was just, mind-blowing. So definitely check that out. And I'll talk a little bit here about what didn't work. So, I've been telling you guys a lot about what did work, what platforms that we've used. But what didn't work was originally we were trying to do this event as, a networking event. You see how we had Remo, we talked about Hopin, but we realized in order to get the best quality of production and coordinate with all of these different speakers that we wanted to have involved, giving out the awards, actually announcing the awards, it needed to be pre-recorded. Doing all of that live from so many different locations would have increased the chances of something messing up the day of. But when people were attending, they didn't feel like it was pre-recorded. It felt like it was live. And so that's the kind of experience that we want to give. And we aired it. So it didn't, oh, come on and just watch the video. There was a live feed playing so people would be a part of it and part of that experience together. And the reason why we backed out of that networking element, again, is because trying to coordinate, I think it was 20 to 30 people that were a part of the event to be at the same place at the same time would have been super difficult. And alongside that, networking wasn't essential to the success of the event. People would be engaging on social media, sharing, posting, interacting post-event, pre-event, and some people during the event. So we didn't see the need to say, you have to sit down behind a computer with your cameras on at a set time. So we didn't need to use one of those highly networking focused platforms. So streaming it was more than enough, and it was a great experience for everyone that attended. See the comments for more feedback and their testimonials about that experience. And if there's any questions, I see a few people are watching. If there's any questions, drop them in the comments. I'll be able to see the comments and reply to some questions. But if you have any bigger questions and you want to talk more, join that Clubhouse conversation that we're going to be having later at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time today, January 21st, because you might be watching this in the future. January 21st, 2021, we'll be having that extended conversation on Clubhouse. And if you're watching this way along in the future, just reach out to us at gsdsolutions.xyz, right? Hit our contact page, get a quote, book a consultation. We're here to talk, we're here to support, and we definitely have the bandwidth and the knowledge and experience to make sure you have the best virtual experience ever when you're doing your online events. So now the Black Excellence, the Vision 2020. So this event was more of a passion project to me. I reached out to a couple of my friends. You see them here in the screenshot. Monique, who runs a nonprofit organization to help students get educated and pursue their passions. Okay, I just got a comment from my son who's watching this. Thank you so much. Great job. Good job, Mom. Get up on YouTube. Here we go. Black Excellence Division 2020. And then Marvin, who runs Wolfpack, which is a community organization focused on helping creatives, entrepreneurs, doers just be successful in their business. So shout out to Marvin and Monique. And they, I hit them up and said, hey guys, I want to do something for the community. This was when all of the uprisings were happening, after the death of George Floyd, and then all these companies were doing initiatives and programs and protests. And I'm just like, we need a space to just really celebrate our Blackness. It just feels like, one, we've been stuck inside for quarantine for months now, and then all this madness going on top of it. Like, we just need a breather. We just need to feel good and celebrate Black excellence, right? And so we came together, and I think it was about a month or 6 weeks, we planned this event, and we had violinists, we had a rapper, we had a motivational speaker, students, just a variety of people talking about their experiences and just how they're going to celebrate Black excellence in 2020. And it was a very successful event, which you guys could check out more at, just look it up on my YouTube channel. So youtube.com/GSD with Georgie, and search in the previous videos for just the Black excellence. And it was about a 3-hour long event. We had a DJ, but it was a really great high impact event where just a space for people to feel good, celebrate their Blackness. And again, this event was just 100% live stream because again, networking wasn't a key element. So we just live stream it from Webinar Jam to YouTube. So live streaming is also a great way to interact. And so some of the sessions were pre-recorded, some of the sessions were live, and we had a great mixture. And it was just a really fun, high quality event to celebrate. So what we have next now, oh yes, the Distributed Valley Startup Expo. So last year we did this event twice with this organization. And again, I love me some tech. So this event was a remote startup expo where a lot of different remote companies were interviewed by VCs, investors, and just other folks in the tech industry to talk about what are they doing, how are distributed teams existing, what is next for remote work, what is current for remote work, distributed work, and what does that ecosystem look like. This event was also held on the Remo platform, and it was just such a highly educational event. We had folks from GitLab, Threads, remote teams, the CEO of Remo himself, and it was just really great to learn about what's happening in this industry, what's coming up now, what's coming up next, and what we should be paying attention to, right? A lot of these platforms and companies have already had distributed and remote teams for years now. And like myself, they were trying to convince and explain to folks, distributed is the way to go, remote is the way to go. And when the pandemic hit, everyone else was just like, whoa, 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 what's happening? And these companies already had a process in place to make sure that they were still engaging, growing, and thriving with remote work and remote and distributed teams. So, it was a very successful event. Again, networking was a key part of it. We had about 29 sessions in the course of like 5-6 hours in a day. And it was just, one of my favorite events as well last year to just be a part of, because I nerd out over all things tech. So just hearing this event and being a part of it and having my team produce it was just, icing on the cake. And here's a few words from Joe Blair, who is the creator behind the Distributed Valley Startup Expo.
Hi, my name is Joe Blair. I am a venture capitalist here in Silicon Valley and a event host with Distributed Valley. And I just want to recommend Georgie to anyone who's thinking about working with her. She was the event manager for our event, a remote startup expo, where we had over 450 people show up. We had 20 different speakers. We had 4 different theaters, and Georgie was the person who was quarterbacking the whole thing. Incredible attention to detail, very smooth transitions, contingency plans, and the event couldn't have gone more smoothly. So I'm thrilled to recommend Georgie to anyone, and hope to get the chance to work with her again.
All right, so you guys see, I'm not just hyping ourselves up. People actually work with us. And we are focused on just making sure folks have the best experience, right? And when we say contingency plans, I'm going to tell you guys a secret, right? For those of you who don't know, something is going to go wrong at your virtual event. It's going to go wrong. Even if you're an attendee and you didn't see what went wrong, something went wrong. And it's not something small. It's 90% of the time something big that could have completely just like shut the whole event down. And you really need a team of folks behind that event saying, okay, this is broken. How can we fix it in less than 3 minutes so that way we don't lose the audience, we don't lose the crowd? Or what can we tell them in the meantime while we're trying to fix it, right? It is so essential to have, this is the plan. This is what we're doing. This is what we're going to do if that doesn't work. And if that doesn't work, we're going to do this, right? And it's so important to have all these backups because something is going to go wrong, whether it's somebody's Wi-Fi, bandwidth, electricity cuts out, snow. You just don't know. Your computer falls, your computer dies, your servers go down a couple weeks ago. Google went down right before a big event, and it kind of messed up so many parts of the event because people were signing in through Google. YouTube went down a couple weeks ago twice. I think over the last like 6 months, YouTube has gone down. So things will happen. And you have to have a team of people that know what to do when these things happen. They can't just say, oh, the event is over. That's not going to work. That is not going to work. And so, that's one of the things we specialize in, right? What to do, how can we make A work to B to C to make sure that, again, this event is successful, we fix any problems, we keep it going, or if we have to shift it to another date and time, how do we communicate to your audience, right? People are remote, they're virtual, but they still are people. And, when something doesn't work, they get upset. Why isn't it? I'm clicking the button, I can't refresh. And with virtual events, because we have that bigger reach, different people from different backgrounds, whether it's somebody that doesn't have that's not familiar with the technology, somebody that is, has a disability where they can engage. Are you doing closed captioning? Are you doing, is your website accessible, right? Like, are you doing translations, right? So just keeping these things in mind is stuff that we ask you in our very first and second sessions when we're doing your consultation to say, hey, you do know based on your audience, like you're gonna have a high percentage of this type of person. Are you giving pre-instructions beforehand? Are you doing trainings with your speakers? You need to book that inside of the package and so on. So definitely we have contingency plans down the wall, and we know how to get shit done, right? GSD, to make sure you have a highly successful, highly engaging, high impact, high quality virtual event. All right, so that was case study number 7. And then we have number 8, where we're going to be working on a case study, an official case study for this one soon. But we supported Remo themselves to do their company retreat. So like, how are companies going to engage, right? And this event was so magical, right? We had magicians, a mixologist, a sip and paint person, a mental health person. So what our team did was help source this staff, right? You want to have people engaged. You have distributed teams, distributed companies, but that doesn't mean because you can't go to a nice fancy island of Hawaii or Jamaica or wherever to have your company retreat means you shouldn't be doing this. So what we work with our clients to do was make sure that they had a high quality company retreat. We were handling the tech support and just making sure everything came together. And again, this, using Remo, because it is Remo, for a high quality, high networking, high connectivity event, and having people talk, meet each other, engage with each other through all the borders and the barriers of now our fully remote and virtual ecosystem and world. And 9, HBCU College Summit. So shout out to the Village Method, as well as Scholar Prep Nation, for having us help support not only 1, but 2 of their college student focused summits last year. And these events were so much fun. We had DJs, as you can see from these screenshots. There were DJs at the event. There were speakers, again, from all over the country talking about the importance, right? The importance of students in this time, making sure that they're still getting their scholarships, still getting filling out their FAFSA, filling out, getting their questions asked and answered about college, because college didn't stop, right? Students still have to go, and just getting that additional support, understanding what needs to happen, and especially for student athletes, right? There's different parameters now. How can you continue your education? So that's what we supported them with. The first time we did it on Webinar Jam. The second time we did it was through Hey Summit and YouTube and /Facebook Live. So if you're doing any type of streaming, any type of like chatting, we can help with all of that. And if you guys are paying attention, I've name dropped at least 10 platforms so far, right? Right now when I'm streaming, and I'm streaming to Facebook, I'm streaming to LinkedIn, YouTube, Twitter, all at the same time. And I'm the only person manning this stream, just because, why not? But we have a whole team. There's a team right now of 11 folks that are working with us, 9 on our core team, and then some additional contractors to make this all happen. And every day we're consistently hiring new staff folks. We're hiring video editors, event tech. So if you are meeting any of those criteria, definitely reach out, because more and more folks are coming to us for these needs. And if that's your skill set, if you're great at IT, great at customer service, and you want to get into virtual events, reach out. Clients are coming to us faster than we can manage, and keep on coming, clients. And we're just creating different job opportunities. And we all know with the COVID-19 pandemic, various people were just fired, furloughed, lost their jobs, couldn't continue working because of family obligations. And so it makes us really proud at GSD Solutions to kind of help create new jobs and consistently be offering opportunities to new members of our team and growing. So we're not only helping individuals get jobs, but the more people that we hire and bring inside, that means there's more clients and more companies that have other employees that are continuing to thrive through these virtual events, because virtual events are high quality, high impact. We get you all the analytics, we satisfy your sponsors, we make sure that your event is, you have the videos, you have the post-event content, everything that you need. GSD Solutions can support you. If you're just live streaming, if you're doing a lecture, a multi-day conference, company retreat, workshop, you name it, we got you. Is essentially what I'm trying to get at. And Stay Home. This was another internal event that we did, and it was bonkers, right? So this was one of our very first virtual events once the pandemic happened. So when they announced that they had canceled South by Southwest, and please don't sue us if somebody's watching, right? We were, I connected with some of my colleagues, and I was like, why don't we do Stay Home, right? This would be a completely virtual, letting people know about my, it's kind of like a cheat code, letting people know about my skill set, folks that didn't already know, as well as testing these different platforms that I was using. So we used Remo for this event because we had, we wanted people to network and meet each other and connect and see the possibilities and opportunities with virtual events and virtual experiences. So in less than like a week, and the full case study is available on SlideShare. And if you go to gsdsolutions.xyz, it's also there. The full case study of from when we started the event, getting the logo, social media page, designing the flyers, GSD Solutions. We do all that branding and everything, right? Then, executing the live event, post-event replays, putting it up on Teachable and the course platform. We do all of that. So, everything that you need, we can do for you. So again, pre-event, during event, post-event, we got y'all. So why don't you reach out to GSD Solutions? I don't know why you're still thinking about it. Head on over to the website, book your consultation, get that quote, because we get shit done. Like literally, it's in the name. So we did Stay Home. It was highly interactive. People, were tweeting about it, talking about it, and it was just like a day. I think it was two or 3 days. Of workshops. We had panels, keynotes, networking, talks. It was just a high quality event. And then again, we had the replays available. They're still available if you want to check those out. And we made this all happen in 1 week. Why and how? Because we have the formula down pat. We know what we're doing. We know what we're talking about, and you should book us to help you with your virtual events. So those are the 10 different case studies. And I'll just kind of go back and talk, mention again some of the platforms on this last slide. So, that's all, folks. So what's next, right? So I'll do this first. So what's next is you can head on over to gsdsolutions.xyz. It's been scrolling at the bottom down there, and book a consultation. Set a time to talk. We are completely booked out for January, so definitely set a time to talk in early February. If you need to talk before that, send us an email on our contact page or fill out the get a quote form, and somebody will reach out to you as soon as possible. But we do events on Hopin, Remo, Webinar Jam, Zoom, GoToMeeting, any live stream. So like Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram Live. What else? StreamYard if you need that connection. And we're testing and trying new platforms every day. So Icebreaker, Teleport, I did a whole series on all these different platforms, Run the World, right? We can support all of that. And if you need we support with the pre-event. So that's including setting up your landing page. If you have a splash page, you want a WordPress page, Eventbrite page, you name it, we'll help you design. We will design that page for you. Then if you need marketing graphics, so flyers, banners, speaker headshots, all the fancy things, we produce those for you as well. Then you go ahead and let people know about the event. Then for the live event, we come in, make sure that you have all the tech support down packed. We make sure that you have an event manager, a dedicated event manager that'll be there, making sure that what needs to be on the screen is on the screen, what's supposed to be on the screen. And a tech support person troubleshooting, I can't see my screen, I can't log in, so a dedicated person handling all of that, and just making sure the event goes as smooth as possible, coming in with our quick thinking and our contingency plans and our backups, making sure that your event is well executed and as little fires as possible, because it's not possible to have no fires, right? But we're going to keep the fires down to a minimum. And if you need vendors, we could contact vendors for you. So again, different talents, such as like if you need a host, if you need a entertainment, magicians, mixologists, sip and paint, musicians, you name it, we can support finding and sourcing those vendors. We do have a vast network of vendors that we've been able to meet. If you need a virtual photo booth, we have that, we have a vendor that has that. So we source the vendors for you. And then post event, right? You want to send out an email to your attendees. You want to have a physical or digital goodie bag. If you do, we have a vendor partner that supports with, you want to send out a swag bag. You want to send out a meal to your attendees, right? You want to make it really feel like a high quality experience. We got you. And then post-event, you want to send out an email. You want to make sure people had a great experience. You want to collect your analytics, do a survey, all of that. So we can help with as little or as much of those things that I just mentioned. You want your videos edited, adding an intro and outro, making this transition, erasing this person's face, removing that segment. We can do that, right? We have the capacity to do all of that. Or if you just need somebody to come in as extra support the day of for a 2-hour Zoom meeting, we can do that too. So head on over to gsdsolutions.xyz and work with us. We are a female-owned, Black-owned, that is me, company. And we have, employees all over the country. We have folks in Virginia, Alabama, Miami, Florida, New York, and we have even some international team members. So whatever you need, we can support, and we have the connections and additional vendors and partners that we work with that are trusted, that also provide a high quality experience for whatever virtual event you're trying to produce. We also offer long-term contracts. So if you want to have a multi-month or a continuous contract where we come in every month, if you have a set like 5 events that you do and you need support for those 5 events, we can support you at all the events that you're doing as well. Children. So, whatever you need, we can support that on a monthly basis, impromptu basis, just whatever the needs are of the client. We make sure that, we go over that with you in the beginning to make sure that you have a high quality experience with your virtual events, because we know how important it is, as well as we know how sensitive the times are, right? A lot of folks have never done a virtual event before. They never had their audience come to a virtual event before. So we know those nuances of different, experience barriers, age barriers, and just overall comfortability with the technology. So we do all of that, trainings, you name it, we can support with all things virtual event. And to close off, I have 2 amazing clients who have some words for you about their experience with GSD and what we did for them, right? And so, I'm going to play those videos now and come back in just a moment.
This is Trisha Tate. I'm principal of the Art of Money Matters. I'm an outsourced CFO, and recently I put on a 4-hour virtual conference for women entrepreneurs. It was very interactive. I didn't know what I was doing in the very beginning, and I hired Georgie of GSD Solutions, and she literally helped me get shit done, everything done, in fact. I was a bit frazzled. She had a process in place. She was very organized, which I love. and she's very resourceful. In no time, I had a landing page, I had a social media strategy, I had an intake form for my speakers and sponsors. I mean, it was all very seamless. She had all of the tools, professionalism, and the patience, which is very key. She had the patience to walk me through to execute a successful and seamless conference. So I would hire Georgie again. In fact, I am hiring her for my next conference. This is Trisha Tate of The Art of Money Matters. Hire Georgie.
Okay, so my name is Chelsea. I'm the founder of the Joy Academy. I actually made money while I was in my apartment, in my pajamas, on my computer, because of Georgie. So prior to meeting Georgie, I was out here just giving information for free all the time. And then she encouraged me. I attended one of her events. I was inspired by the event. I'm like, I want to do something just like this. She gave me practical tips. You know how you meet people who are out here getting stuff done, but they're so reluctant to sharing. I need like step by step. That's what she did for me. Launched my event, made so much money, more money than I had ever made, obviously, because I made $0 prior to meeting Georgie. And then on top of that, she inspired me and taught me and turned my event, virtual event, into a course. Pretty much when I'm sleeping, I'm still gonna be making money from that course. Like she is it. And I'm inspired and things will never be the same for me.
So yeah, you guys heard it here from a few of our clients, and you can see more reviews and testimonials on our Google business page, LinkedIn, as well as our website, gsdsolutions.xyz. So if you are somebody that is looking to produce virtual events, need some support with producing virtual events, reach out. Head on over to gsdsolutions.xyz today, book a consultation, request a quote. My team and I are here to help and here to support as we kick off 2021 with virtual events. Last year we did over 100 virtual events. This year, maybe we'll do 200. So again, thank you so much for everybody that tuned in. And if you have any questions, meet me at the Q&A. So the Q&A, official Q&A will be tonight at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, January 21st. Again, just in case you're watching this in the future, on Clubhouse. So if you have the Clubhouse app, meet me there at 6 p.m. on Clubhouse for the Q&A, where any questions that you have will be answered. And if you don't have Clubhouse, email us, right? Or message us on social media, and I'm going to put back up that page. So we're at GSD Solutions, at GSD Solutions XYZ on Twitter, GSD Solutions.xyz on Instagram and Facebook. And then if you go to GSD Solutions.xyz, that's also our website. So hit the contact form, reach out. We can support you. We know what to do, and we're ready. We have a team of amazing content strategists, designers, virtual event producers, project managers here to help you get shit done in the virtual event production space. So I look forward to having you guys contact us and working with you guys in the future. All right, talk to you soon. 6 o'clock, Clubhouse. See you there. And I'll also be doing a replay of this on Instagram at 5 p.m. So if you didn't get to see it, or if you want somebody else to share it with, just tell them to go to Instagram at GSD with Georgie and GSD Solutions XYZ to tune in. Thanks, you guys. Bye.